There's a town in America where you can wake up to a mirror-flat lake, drink your coffee on the dock, and still pay less in monthly housing than your internet bill. It's not in Alaska, it's not in the middle of nowhere, and it's definitely not a fantasy. In fact, some of these hidden lake towns have homes priced lower than what people pay for a used Honda, with schools, stores, and neighbors who actually wave hello. Most people have no clue they even exist, and if you ask the locals, they'd prefer it stayed that way. But we found them, and you won't believe what's waiting in town number 3. It's surrounded by water on all sides, but has a rule so strange, newcomers either love it or leave. Like this video so more people find out about these amazing lake towns. And if living near water sounds good to you, hit subscribe. We've got plenty more coming. There's a quiet little town at the edge of the Rocky Mountains where the water is deep blue, the air smells like pine trees, and the homes don't cost a fortune. It's called Grand Lake, Colorado, and even though it looks like something out of a postcard, it's very real. Tucked beside the largest natural lake in the state, this place gives you mountain views, a peaceful vibe, and a real chance to live the lake life without needing a millionaire's paycheck. Picture this: wooden cabins with flower boxes, a small boardwalk lined with local shops, and families paddleboarding right after breakfast. That's what a summer morning looks like in Grand Lake. And when winter rolls in, it turns into a snow-covered village that feels like a real-life snow globe. The best part? While Colorado is known for pricey resort towns, Grand Lake is one of the last places where you can still find homes under $400,000, and sometimes well below, especially if you're open to smaller cabins or fixer-uppers. It's a favorite spot for people who want nature, calm, and a friendly community. The town is safe, schools are small but caring, and there's a strong local spirit. You won't find giant malls or big box stores here, and that's kind of the point. Grand Lake is for people who want fewer crowds, slower days, and clean, cold water just steps from home. Now, it's not for everyone. Winters can be long, and if you need fast Wi-Fi and Uber at your door, this might not be your pace. But if you dream of coffee on the porch with mountain views and your own canoe tied to the dock, Grand Lake just might be the start of something special. If that sounds peaceful, just wait until number 9, where fairy tale homes and beach parks meet one of the Great Lakes. Charlevoix looks like something out of a children's storybook. And we're not just saying that. This lake town in northern Michigan is known for its tiny mushroom houses, sandy beaches, and calm, clear water that sparkles like glass. It sits right between Lake Michigan and Lake Charlevoix, so no matter which way you turn, you're near the water. And while it feels like a vacation spot, it's also a real, livable town, one where families are safe, neighbors know each other, and the price of a home might surprise you. Homes here range from charming cottages to full-size houses, many priced around $250,000 to $350,000. Some are walking distance to the beach. Others have lake views from the back deck. For a place that looks like it should be overrun with tourists, it's surprisingly quiet most of the year, especially when summer ends. The downtown is cozy, lined with family-owned shops, ice cream stands, and local restaurants. There's even a drawbridge that lifts every half hour, slowing traffic just enough to remind you this isn't the city. Schools here are small and well-rated. Crime is low, and if you're raising kids or just want peace near the water, Charlevoix checks every box. The trade-off? Summers can get crowded with vacationers, especially around the 4th of July. But locals know how to enjoy the best spots before the visitors arrive. And when fall comes, it's like the whole town exhales. If you think this place sounds magical, wait until number 8, where a hidden lake in the Ozarks surrounds a town so full of color, you won't know where to look first. At first glance, Eureka Springs looks like a movie set. Winding streets, colorful Victorian houses, steep hills, and balconies covered in flowers. It doesn't feel like a lake town until you realize one of the cleanest, clearest lakes in the South is just 15 minutes away. That's Beaver Lake, and together with Eureka Springs, they create one of the most unusual and strangely peaceful hidden towns in America. Eureka Springs isn't your typical small town. It's full of artists, musicians, and people who wanted a different kind of life. You'll find quirky shops, live music in alleyways, and historic hotels that look frozen in time. But here's the real surprise. Homes in this area are still affordable. You can find lake cabins, hillside homes, and cozy cottages starting under $250,000. Some of them have views that look like a travel brochure. Others sit in the woods just minutes from the water. Beaver Lake is huge, over 28,000 acres of clear blue water, surrounded by forests and hiking trails. Locals swim, kayak, and fish here all summer. And the town itself, it's family safe, tight-knit, and proud of its offbeat style. The schools are small and supportive. Crime is low, and while the layout is a bit confusing at first, think steep roads and unexpected turns, most people fall in love with the charm. The only catch? Eureka Springs isn't for people who need big box stores or perfectly flat sidewalks. It's weird, a little wild, and proudly independent. But if you want to live somewhere that makes every day feel a little like a vacation, this might be it. And if you think this is quirky, just wait until town number 7, where a hidden lake sits in the middle of the mountains, and locals swear it's the most beautiful place in the country. If someone dropped you into Sandpoint, Idaho, without telling you where you were, you might think you'd landed in Switzerland. This place is surrounded by mountains, wrapped around one of the biggest and deepest lakes in the western U.S., and somehow still not overrun by tourists. That lake is called Lake Panorail, and the town of Sandpoint, it's the kind of place where people wave from their porch, leave their doors unlocked, and spend more time on the water than they do on their phones. What makes Sandpoint special isn't just the views, it's how livable it is. The town feels small, but you've got everything you need. Good schools, safe neighborhoods, and a downtown filled with coffee shops, bookstores, and one very famous old movie theater that still charges just a few bucks for tickets. You can find homes under $300,000 if you're quick, especially just outside the main area. And yes, some of them come with lake views or access to private docks. Locals fish, ski, paddleboard, and hike, sometimes all in the same weekend. The community is active, outdoorsy, and very proud of the place they call home. It's also quiet. You won't find loud nightlife or packed highways here. Instead, you'll find sunsets over the water, backyard gardens, and a level of peace that's hard to describe until you feel it. The trade-off? Sandpoint is a bit remote. The nearest big city is over an hour away, and winters can be long. But for families, retirees, or anyone burned out by city life, it's a rare kind of escape. Still, if you think mountain lakes are peaceful, wait until town number 6, where the forests of upstate New York hide a lake town with history, charm, and homes so cozy, they feel like a warm blanket in winter. Saranac Lake isn't just a town, it's a feeling. Tucked deep in the Adirondack Mountains of upstate New York, it's the kind of place where time slows down. Neighbors wave from front porches, and the smell of pine trees hangs in the air all year. The town is surrounded by lakes, not just one, but several, and they're calm, clear, and just waiting for your kayak, fishing rod, or quiet morning coffee. What surprises most people is that Saranac Lake is not some exclusive resort area. It's actually a working town with real people, good schools, and prices that make you look twice. You can still find homes under $250,000, and sometimes even lower if you're open to older houses or places a little off the main drag. Many homes have cozy porches, wood-burning stoves, and yards full of snow in the winter and wildflowers in the spring. The town has a small hospital, grocery stores, local shops, and even a few art galleries. There's a real sense of pride here, not flashy, but strong. Crime rates are low, especially in the neighborhoods around the lakes and schools. And while winters get cold, like really cold, locals know how to handle it. Fireplaces, snow boots, and community events keep things cheerful even in February. Saranac Lake is one of those places that doesn't beg for attention. It just quietly offers peace, safety, and a lot of natural beauty. If you want a place where kids can ride their bikes, where people still shovel each other's driveways, and where the lake isn't just for show, this town delivers. And if this sounds like a dream, just wait until number 5, where the sun shines over vineyards, the lake is warm, and your backyard might just come with a boat slip. Chelan is one of those towns that makes you stop and stare, not just because it's beautiful, but because you didn't know something like this still existed. It's tucked away in central Washington, where the sun shines most of the year. The lake is deep and clear, and the hills around it are lined with vineyards. Yes, you read that right, a lake town that also feels like wine country. And even though it's a popular getaway spot, people actually live here, and some do it for a surprisingly low cost. Lake Chelan is one of the largest natural lakes in the state. It's long, narrow, and clean enough to drink from in some parts. Locals spend their summers boating, paddleboarding, or just floating with a cold drink in hand. The town itself is safe, walkable, and full of little surprises. Local bakeries, family diners, small art shops, and parks where kids play until the sun goes down. It has a hospital, good schools, and a strong sense of community that families really value. Now here's where it gets interesting. Chelan sounds like a high-end vacation town, but you can still find condos and smaller homes near the lake for under $300,000. And just outside the town center, single-family homes drop even lower. The catch? You'll have to act fast. Chelan is growing, and once people figure out what's here, the word spreads quickly. The trade-off? Summer can bring in crowds, but most locals say it's a small price to pay for the other 9 months of calm, lakeside peace. And when you can sip wine on your porch, walk to the water, and know your kids are safe riding their bikes through town, it starts to feel like a real win. Still, Chelan isn't the most surprising place on this list. That title might belong to town number 4, where homes are under $150,000. The views go on for miles, and locals say the lake is better than therapy. Don't let the name fool you. Devil's Lake is one of the most peaceful and family-friendly places in the Midwest. It's named after the huge lake it sits beside, not because anything spooky is going on. In fact, this town is more calm than chaotic, and the real shocker, you can buy a house here for under $150,000, sometimes under $100,000 if you're flexible. That's not just rare these days, it's almost unbelievable. Devil's Lake is built around, well, Devil's Lake, the largest natural body of water in North Dakota. The lake is a big deal here. People fish year-round, take boats out in the summer, and ice fish when winter hits. And we're not talking about roughing it in the wild. The town has all the basics: grocery stores, schools, a hospital, and friendly neighborhoods where people actually know your name. It's safe, quiet, and simple in the best way. The houses? Think clean, modest homes with big yards, space for a garden, and sometimes even views of the water. Most come with garages, basements, and room to grow, all for the price of a used car in some cities. There's also a surprising amount of nature trails, parks, and family-friendly events throughout the year. And while winters are long, this is North Dakota after all, locals say it's worth it for the sense of calm that comes with the seasons. It's not a fast-paced life, but if you want a safe, affordable place to raise a family, watch the sunset over a frozen lake, and actually own your home without stress, Devil's Lake is a serious contender. But if you think North Dakota is quiet, wait until town number 3, where a stunning lake town limits what you can build, bans chains near the water, and offers some of the best views in the entire South. If Lake Lure sounds familiar, that might be because it starred in a movie. This was the dreamy backdrop for Dirty Dancing. But the real surprise? It's not just a film location, it's a real town. And unlike most Hollywood famous spots, Lake Lure is actually affordable. This hidden gem in western North Carolina offers calm waters, blue mountains, and homes that sometimes go for under $250,000, which is wild considering the views look like a travel magazine cover. Lake Lure is small, peaceful, and very picky, in a good way. The town has strict rules that keep big chains out of the main lake area. That means no fast food signs ruining your sunset view. You'll find mom-and-pop shops, cozy diners, and one main road that curves along the lake like it's following a postcard. There are boat docks, a public beach, hiking trails, and one very famous lakefront inn that people book years in advance. Now, about safety, Lake Lure is one of those places where people still wave from their porches and let their kids play in the yard without worry. Crime is low, neighbors are friendly, and the local school system, while small, is well rated. There's also a deep sense of pride here. Locals care about keeping the town clean, quiet, and beautiful. It's the kind of place where outdoor movies happen in summer and Christmas lights stay up until February. The only downside, the town is tiny, like no mall, no Uber, no Costco tiny. If you want convenience, this might feel slow, but if you want peace, beauty, and lakefront living that still fits a working family budget, Lake Lure delivers something rare. And if you think a movie town is charming, wait until number 2, where the lake is surrounded by cliffs, the houses are carved into the rock, and locals say the sunsets feel like magic. Paige, Arizona doesn't look real at first. It sits high above a canyon, overlooking Lake Powell, one of the most jaw-dropping lakes in the entire country. Picture red rock cliffs, turquoise water, and skies so wide you feel like you're on another planet. It's the kind of place photographers chase for that perfect desert sunset. But here's what most people don't know. This wild-looking place is also a small, safe town where you can still buy a home for under $300,000, and sometimes a lot less. Lake Powell is massive. It has more shoreline than the entire west coast of the United States. Locals boat through winding canyons, hike past rock formations, and camp under skies full of stars. But Page isn't just a tourist stop. It's a real town with schools, grocery stores, local restaurants, and neighborhoods where kids play outside and people wave to each other at the post office. Crime is low, especially in the residential areas. It feels like the kind of place where everyone's just a little more relaxed. And the homes? Many are single-story with open yards, desert landscaping, and views you can't put a price on. Some homes even sit close enough to the cliffs that you can see the lake right from your window. Plus, there's no big city rush. You're not dodging traffic or waiting in long lines. It's slow, simple, and strangely peaceful, even with the giant lake nearby. The trade-off? Page is remote. It's not right next to a big airport, and you'll drive a bit to reach bigger cities. But that's part of the charm. You trade noise for nature and stress for silence. Still, if you think this is special, wait until number 1, where a lake in New England wraps around a tiny town with 200-year-old homes, a floating library, and local secrets passed down like family recipes. If you've never heard of Meredith, New Hampshire, that's kind of the point. This quiet little town hugs the shores of Lake Winnipesaukee, one of the oldest and most beloved lakes in New England. It's a place where families have passed down lake houses for generations, where docks stretch into glassy water, and where the loudest sound at night is a loon calling in the distance. And somehow, even with all that charm, you can still find homes under $350,000, sometimes even less if you're patient and don't mind a smaller place or a fixer-upper. Meredith is the kind of town where every detail feels personal. There's a floating library that docks in the summer, a tiny movie theater that's been around since the 40s, and a farmer's market where the same families show up week after week. It's cozy, walkable, and filled with history. Some buildings are over 200 years old, and the streets still follow their original curves from colonial days. Locals know each other by name, and visitors often come once, then end up moving in for good. Safety? It's practically built into the place. Crime is extremely low, schools are well rated, and kids still ride bikes without parents worrying. The lakefront is lined with small parks, picnic spots, and family-run restaurants with porches that overlook the water. In the fall, the leaves turn fiery orange and red. In winter, the lake freezes over, and locals go ice fishing or lace up their skates. Every season has its magic. The only trade-off? It gets chilly. And while Meredith has just enough to keep you comfortable, it's not packed with big city perks, but that's exactly why people come here. It's peaceful, beautiful, and rich with that old-school New England charm you can't fake. So if you've been dreaming of a lake town where life slows down, homes don't break the bank, and peace isn't just a word, these places prove it's still possible. Which one would you choose? Drop your favorite in the comments, and if this video gave you ideas, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss the next one.